Have a look at this picture. Cool. So how come one is attracted to the woman and the other is not? Well, you see, women in their divine femininity are the greatest energy sensor. One is seen as a creep, the other one is seen as a Don Juan or charismatic. Now, of course, there's physicality involved, but the reality of the game is that women are attracted to who you are, not what you do, nor what you say. And it's the same thing with your reality or the money you wish to attract in your life. As a quick reminder, this universe is mainly comprised of energy, and you yourself watching this video, you are 99.99999% energy, meaning that you're truly a walking energy field, which is why you interacting with this world, you can feel the vibe and the energy of places, activities, people, and actions. Every single place, action, activity, people, thoughts, emotions that you have will have an impact on your energy. Frequency, vibration, energy, and consciousness are contagious, meaning that it's extremely important to know and to be intentional in where you put your energy, where you put yourself, and whom you allow to have your energy. Women are usually better energy sensor because their skin is usually less thick than men, meaning that they can even sense better through the skin. They have a thinner layer of skin, which allows them to sense when a vibe is off. And that comes to the same thing when it comes to money. Really and truly, money is attracted to who you are. And there is a specific experiment that they've done scientifically proving this point, proving that the money that you attract in your life is more so about who you are than what you do. Because as you've seen in the picture, those two guys, they did the same action. Hey cutie, right? Or whatever they said. But the main difference was whom was saying it. And the experiment that they did scientifically in quantum physics is called the observer effect. Oops. And I'm going to explain to you exactly what they did and how this literally will impact the money that you make. The observer effect. You see, they basically measured how atoms, electrons, behave when they are left alone and when they are observed and measured. When they were left alone, basically there was nobody, they were acting as wave potentials. When they were measured and seen, their atomic structure changed and it became a particle. What does that mean? It means that when you put your focus on something, the probabilities in the quantum field changes. Whatever you put your focus on, you render probable in physical reality. You already execute a first degree of materialization. And so why is this so important, this observer effect? Observer effect. Well, simply because this means that if you observe on a long period of time and you put your focus and your attention on a specific potentiality of your desired reality, for instance, over time, this creates particles that are stacked on top of each other, more and more and more and more, increasing the probability of this desired reality to occur. What does that mean? It means that the focus is the most important one. But where does focus come from? It comes from perception, right? And your perception is designed by your projection. But what you project onto reality will naturally, because the universe is a mirror, will naturally affect what you perceive to be true. For instance, let's say somebody who is extremely negative sees let's say, sees a certain event as negative, then he would see this as reaffirming that the world is shit, the world is crap. And that is because they project negativity onto reality. Whereas if you were to be a positive person, you project positivity onto the world in general, you perceive situation in a certain way. Meaning, for instance, you're going to perceive a certain situation positively and seeing this as an opportunity to better yourself, for instance. Which is why your projection determines your perception, which determines your focus and therefore determines the stacking up of particles, which therefore determines over time the reality that you're going to create. But then, hold on, because how you project, basically your brain is simply sending electromagnetic spectrum. If you don't know this, your brain and your heart are electromagnetic fields. And the heart is actually tens of times more powerful than your brain. But your brain still, your focus sends out electromagnetic spectrum interacting with the potentiality, the field, and stacking up particles. So basically, how you think determines the particles that you send, the signals that you send, which feeds your focus and feeds what type of particle you're attracting. And so, how you think is determined by your identity. If you see yourself as a positive person, if you see yourself as a creator of your reality, if you see yourself as a self-responsible person, well, naturally you're gonna have a better positive outlook on life. So literally, your identity feeds how you think, which determines the signal, feeds the projection, right? If you're a positive person, you're gonna have a positive projection, therefore a positive perception, and therefore a positive focus, which then will stack up positive particle, which will change the quantum field's probabilities into positive particles, which stacks up over time. So literally, you see how your identity changes your reality. Your identity changes your reality. And that's exactly what the first drawing I showed you is about. Women, which are great energy sensors, and your success with women or with people in general, really and truly, because everybody really and truly is an energy sensor, is determined by who you are, your identity. Now you've understood this channel is purely dedicated for you to understand the unseen forces of success when it comes to metaphysics, quantum physics, when it comes to esoteric knowledge, allowing you to get ahead compared to all your competition, because at the end of the day, there's more unseen forces that comes to your success than seen forces. Your eyes can only see 0.0035% of the entirety of the electromagnetic spectrum, meaning that there is more unseen things that you don't see with your physical limitations, responsible for the fabric of the universe, responsible for reality, responsible for your success and how things unfold into your life. Which is why it's extremely important for you to understand what you cannot see, okay? Which is why I'm speaking about esotericism, I'm speaking about metaphysics, quantum physics and all that stuff, allowing you to align yourself with your success, because taking action, random actions, or even taking inspired actions towards a goal is not enough. It's enough if you want to see success after decades. But the reality of the game is that if you want to collapse the time at which you see success and feel fulfilled within yourself, not end up like all these millionaires that just focus on the money for decades and decades and decades, and then when they reach finally their millions, they end up depressed. And I'm speaking from experience because I've had so many friends that ended up being multimillionaire, even then some of them centimillionaires. And the thing is, they ended up depressed because their whole entire identity and self-worth was based on that outcome. Which is why success without practical spirituality is the recipe for hollow reality. Okay? All of these millionaires that you see online, the problem, well, not all of them, but most of them are now making YouTube videos telling you that they feel empty inside, they feel hollow, because they only focused on the actions for years and years and years without elevating themselves spiritually and having a consciousness elevation. Okay? The best thing you can do, in my humble opinion, but I've also proven that with over 437 clients and all the hundreds of people that have seen success in all aspects of their lives thanks to my teachings, the best thing you can do is work on your success as you elevate spiritually. Okay? So if you follow everything I'm sharing with you in this YouTube channel, you shouldn't have any problem feeling fulfilled, feeling happy while attracting material goods in your life. But at the end of the day, I do not want you to be the type of depressed, fat, obese millionaire that is only unidimensional, only focused on making money. Okay? I would rather you focus on making money while spiritually elevating and therefore naturally attracting success in every single aspect of your life. Okay? This is why I'm sharing this. Because I'm seeing too many of my friends that were nearly beep, I'm not going to say the term, but you see nearly off themselves because of this. So this is why it's close to my heart, and this is why I'm sharing this type of knowledge today on this YouTube channel. So my main goal is for you to apply everything, be free, time, money, and location free if you're not already time, money, and location free. So you have time to double down on the metaphysical, esoteric, spiritual aspects of things for you to feel fulfilled and for you to see success in all aspects. My mission is to create the next generation of millionaires successful in every single aspect. I do not care about having clients that are obese millionaires that suck with ladies and that are creeps. Because not only one, they're going to end up depressed, the other term, and unfulfilled. And what is this life if you're not feeling fulfilled? Okay? I'm against this hustle culture. I've done both ways. I've done the hustle culture and I've done the woo-woo path. The best is actually in the middle, is the applied metaphysics on certain types of actions and business. This is how you have the best of both worlds, basically. You have the material aspect of things that come to your life, and you also have the fulfillment and the inner growth aspect of things, okay? So, if you are here to pass time and to just listen and watch the video without taking notes, then you can click off this video, unfollow, unsubscribe, because this is not the goal. You haven't understood anything if you're doing this, okay? By the way, shout out to Drew, Maxim, Yvonne, Olivier, and I think the other one, Dal, I think he was a French one, who commented under the last videos. Well done, guys. I'm gonna keep shouting you guys out. And yeah, if you're taking notes, leave your notes in the comments so that other people can review them and share with them, and you guys can debate or ask questions in the comments for you to have a healthy debate. Because at the end of the day, if you remember the learning pyramid, reading, listening to a lecture, or interacting passively like in an audio visual bit like this one is only a small percentage of retention rate. The more you discuss, the more you apply, and the more you teach it to others in the comments. For instance, you take notes, you summarize it, and you teach it in the comments, the more you're going to retain it. You're going to actually retain it 90% more, okay? Extremely important. So please do this if you haven't done that already in the previous videos. Take notes in the comments as you're watching this video so you can kind of like write it down, activate all your types of memory: auditory memory, visual memory, kinesthetic memory, and you're teaching it to others, increasing your retention rates to 90%, okay? At the end of the day, I don't care if you're here to pass time. Go watch some cat videos. This is not it. This is not it, okay? Now, so we've understood that basically the money that you want to attract depends on who you are. Cool. And usually, women are great energy sensors and great mirrors of who you are, okay? If you're a creep, they will tell you, or you will sense it. If you are charismatic, or if you're magnetic, you will sense it as well. The moment, a funny story, the moment one of my clients did exactly what I'm telling them to do in the mentorship, to first elevate, reprogram the subconscious mind, to remove all the limiting beliefs that they have, preventing them from seeing success, then applying a specific custom blueprint for them with physical actions, and then elevating the frequency. It's funny how he started to attract a bunch of different women in his life that he has never thought was possible, like model looking women. Either way, we're not here to discuss, you know, just beauty is superficial, whatever, we don't care. It's just to give you guys an example that this, what I'm teaching here, is going to have a ripple effect in every single aspect of your life if you take notes and you apply, okay? So women are great energy sensors, and your identity creates your reality because of the observer effect. When they observed electrons, it changed its atomic structure from wave potential to particle, meaning from vibration to a tiny first degree of physical reality. Okay, extremely important. So what you put your focus on, you create. That's another word. So identity creates your reality is another word to say your focus creates your reality. Okay, extremely important. So I'm going to tell you an example. I have several brands on social media. Okay, I have several. I think I have like 5 or 6. Yeah, 6 brands on Instagram. Okay, different pages on health, wealth, relationship, coaching markets, basically. And all of these brands, by the way, this has a ripple effect. If you've ever wanted to build or scale your personal brand or your online coaching business, DM me on I am Hugo Christensen, the word mentor or freedom. You can also DM me on J Chris Mentor, but I'm these days I'm less active on that. I'm more active and giving more sauce away on I am Hugo Christensen. So DM me on that if you want to start or scale a personal brand or an online coaching business to multiple 5 figures per month. But my point was, linking back to focus, I have several brands on social media, right? And every single one of those brands are really directed towards value, education, and elevating consciousness in general. And my focus is very clear: helping humanity, right? Elevating humanity. I get paid to help people. And each of these brands, I've worked a few months on those, but now they keep on giving me tens of thousands of dollars every single month, right? So it's like a rocket ship, basically. In the beginning, there's a lot of effort. In the beginning, there's a lot of effort. That's a rocket ship, okay? There's a lot of effort to get up, but once you're in space, right? Then you don't need that much effort because gravity doesn't apply to you anymore. And it's the same thing with online business. At first you have a lot of work, and once you do everything correctly for an extended period of time, depending on, of course, which blueprint of success you use, then it naturally compounds, right? It compounds and compounds and compounds. Some of these brands are literally in space right now because I'm not doing a lot of things. I've already kickstarted them. I'm just maintaining them, and they are still making me money. Now, why is this so important? Because your focus creates your reality. If you want to attract more money, obviously you need to focus on money. Now, I'm going to give you an example. One of my pages, which is a personal, just like an old uni personal brand, I follow a few friends there. And there was this girl, I unfollowed her directly when I saw this. Your focus will be determined by your level of consciousness. I'm not going to get into too much detail of the level of consciousness in this video, but literally this girl was her story. It was so cringy. I'm not judging anybody, but it's just to give you an example to understand the different levels of consciousness. She was at a concert. She's Latina, okay? She was at a concert, and she was filming herself chanting the lyrics of the song in the concert in which she was. But that wasn't necessarily the cringy thing. The cringy thing was the lack of self-awareness that when you saw back, there was nearly only ladies and some gay dudes, and all the ladies behind did the same thing. Instead of at least being present in the moment, they were filming themselves, chanting, and it was so cringe because she didn't even realize that she was one in 1,000 doing the same thing. They were all like this, feeling themselves and chanting in Spanish. And I was like, okay, this is too much cringe for me. I need to unfollow her. Now, why did I do this? Calm down, ladies, or guys, if you want to kind of play the white knight. Why did I do this? Simply because consciousness is contagious. Consciousness, my friend, is contagious. Whatever you feed, contagious. Whatever you feed your eyes, your ears, your mind, your mouth, will determine on a longer period of time how you focus, what is your consciousness, and what you attract in your life. Okay? So your focus creates your reality, meaning that you need to focus on the right things, meaning you need to control the environment of your focus. Your physical focus and your virtual environment, your physical environment and your virtual environment, meaning that make sure, for instance, in your office that there is money everywhere, or inspiring artwork about money or about success in general. Make sure that you read books about success. Make sure that your focus is consumed by what you want to create as a reality, meaning success, okay? Meaning, in virtual reality, in your virtual reality and virtual environment, unfollow in the feed, right? Because Instagram and YouTube is a perfect way of programming yourself if you know how to consciously and intentionally do it, okay? So your focus creates your reality. Unfollow all the people that are not aligned with your consciousness level, or that are not aligned with the reality that you're trying to create. And I know it sounds a bit harsh, it sounds extreme, but at the end of the day, the more you do this, the more we're stacking the probability, stacking the right particles, remember, to attract the desired reality. So see it like this. Is it truly a sacrifice for you to remove all the low consciousness people on your feed, or the cats, the meme pages, the weird thirst traps that you have on your feed, for you to create a better reality and for you to attract all success in every single aspect? I don't think so, right? I think it's a fair deal. I think actually it's a great deal. So it's important for you to understand that your identity equals your reality, and your focus creates your reality, right? And your identity fuels your focus, right? You remember this. Your identity fuels your focus. So make sure that you design a clear identity that is deserving and is so attractive to the reality that the reality has no choice but to happen, okay? And last but not least, how to attract 10 times the money in your life. Promised you I would talk about this. We are going to get a bit Asian here. What do I mean by that? We've all heard about the two energies called yin and yang. Okay? Yin is more so of a feminine energy, a bit more chaotic. Okay? Chaos. And so that's typically also a bit of creativity, right? Yin energy usually creates and is chaotic in creativity. And yang energy usually is order. Now, it's more complicated than just female and male energy, but yin usually represents the female aspect of things and yang represents the male aspect of things, okay? Every single atoms in the universe, every single thing, every single molecule has a yang and yin energy, okay? Now, why am I talking about this here, yin and yang? Well, simply because you are attractive to women, therefore you're attractive to people in general, you're able to build relationships in general, and money truly, really and truly is a consequence of relationship building. The more hands you shake, the more money you'll naturally make, the more deals you have, right? Cool. So it's by you developing social skills, being magnetic, being congruent in your values, and being able to public speak, being more eloquent, knowing how to write, knowing how to communicate, will naturally build better social skills and relationships, right? Relationships equals money. But the thing is this, money is actually a yin energy also. And so what does that mean? It means that money is attracted to yang energy. Money is attracted to masculine energy, the masculine aspect of things. Okay? If you haven't watched my video where I speak about, I think it's in the how to 50x your income, go watch this as well after this one. So now money is a yin energy, therefore attracted to by yang energy. And so what are the yang money attractor fields? Okay, and by the way, for those of you who don't know what an attractor field is, an attractor field is simply a state of consciousness which allows you to attract a certain type of energy. Okay, so let's finalize this video with the yang money attractor field. Yang money attractor fields. So this is literally attractor fields that will help you 10x the money that you attract in your life, okay? And you'll see how after these attractor fields, how it makes sense why most people say they struggle with money when really and truly it's just a matter of, it's just a reflection of their state of consciousness and their attractor field, okay? You'll see that most people don't have all of them. And once you have all of these attractor fields, you're naturally, over time, you're going to attract better opportunities, better relationship, better money opportunities, okay? An example, because of my own young energy, I was able to attract insane amount of opportunities unrelated to my business. Of course, I've been able, thanks to my personal brand, which opened doors for me, I've been able to develop relationships with centimillionaires and invest in private equity, but also because of my young energy that exuded, I attracted physically insane amount of opportunities. And in the next few months, I'll talk a bit more about those because it can really be a mindset shift and a mind-blowing game changer when it comes to your life and your success, okay? First and foremost, emotional stability and security. It's extremely important for you to stay emotionally stable, because if you're not emotionally stable, even logically, when shit hits the fan and you're not able to stay stoic and handle it, well, you're gonna mess up, you're gonna self-sabotage, right? Security, feeling secure in yourself, is extremely important, which is also why money is usually very much attracted to confidence and conviction, right? At the end of the day, logically, it makes sense as well. If you're confident in the product that you offer, if you're convinced it's going to change people's lives, then the energy in which you're going to present your offer and present your services is going to be completely different, and therefore persuade people much more, okay? Then, of course, we have mastery and expertise. One look at the biggest athletes in the world, and you see that they have mastered their craft and therefore they get paid much more for that. Same thing for your expertise. You wouldn't be watching this video if you weren't somewhat interested in the expertise that I have about esotericism, metaphysics, the unseen forces of success and how you can align yourself with success. Now, of course, this is where you lazy motherfuckers are going to cry, but effort. Now, it's important to understand effort is not struggle. If you're struggling in your life when it comes to building your business or anything like that, it means that you're misaligned with either what you do, who you are, or what you know. Because effort does not mean struggle. Effort means putting in the work, but feeling good about it. Okay? Do not mix it with struggle. Okay? If you're struggling with your business, it means that you don't have the right blueprint, or you don't have clarity on what to do next, which is why you have no excuses, because you could hire a mentor. Okay? That's literally how I was able to make millions in my life. It's thanks to mentors. Okay? Thanks to the right mentors, the right people. And a quick tip, don't look at what they say and what they showcase as a lifestyle. As you maybe have understood, for those of you who have been following me for the last 4 to 5 years, sometimes I showcase the lifestyle, but my main goal is to showcase more the education and change the thinking pattern, change the mental paradigms and the belief systems. Because if you look at all the people that only sell you the lifestyle, the Lambo, the supercar, all of that, you may end up being disappointed, because I've invested over 257K in myself, in courses, coaches, masterminds, etc. And all the ones that I've invested in where I just bought their lifestyle, it was a shitty product. It was like the knowledge level and the accountability level and the coaching itself was low. So don't just look at the shiny stuff, because it could be rented as well. Look at, is their content, free content, or their energy or their frequency uplifting you? Okay? And then you make a decision based on that. But effort, do not misconstrue this with struggle. Okay? Effort is enjoying putting in the work in the direction because you know it's the right way to go. Another big one, which is linked to this one, is internal peace plus serenity. Okay? It's linked to this one, but feeling good about yourself is extremely attractive to money. Okay? Money is only attracted to people who feel good about themselves. Okay? If you feel bad about yourself, sorry brother, it's not going to work. This is why one of the things that I do when it comes to overweight people coming to see me and wanting to attract more money, I help them lose weight and rewire their self-image. Why? Well, simply because if you feel better about yourself and you have better internal peace, and every single time you look at the mirror you don't see a fat slob, well, you're gonna feel better about yourself, you're gonna feel more serene with yourself, more self-trust, self-love, and better self-image, therefore attracting more money into your life. Because at the end of the day, money is attracted to serenity, internal peace, and emotional stability. And the 3 last money attractor fields is having money. I know it sounds counterintuitive, but if you have money already, you're gonna feel more abundant, of course, right? This is why the rich get richer and the poor get poorer, is literally this, is because having money makes you feel more abundant, and that's also another one, is alignment with abundance. If you don't feel abundance or abundant, you'll never attract money. So you see, this is kind of like these two are a positive viral loop, right? Because one feeds the other. One feeds the other. So for instance, having money makes you feel more abundant, feeling more abundant makes you have more money, basically. So there's going to come a time, if you invest in a mentor or a coach, for instance, that is going to reduce your money capital, but in of it itself, you need to believe and still feel abundant, even though you've invested money into a coach and a mentor. And if you've watched my video on how to 50x your income, you'll understand that this also goes into giving. The most important part when you give is to give from a healthy, peaceful, happy place. If you give money, whether it's for your rent, your landlord, a coach, a mentor, charity, and you feel bad and you feel like, or paying for grocery and you feel bad, then you're sending out this vibration, you're sending out this energy to the universe. And therefore, because the universe is a mirror, it's going to reflect that back to you. So whenever it comes to giving, feel good about yourself. Feel good about it, okay? And for a more in-depth, feel good about it. And for a more in-depth explanation on this, go watch the How to 50x Your Income video. Alignment with abundance. Abundance is a feeling, okay? You need to feel abundant before it happens, okay? Even if you right now you have money, it's easier to feel abundant, but you need to continuously feel abundant for you to attract money. Stack these attractor fields, make sure you practice them every single day, and you'll start to see that you're gonna start to attract much more money into your life. Rewire your identity, rewire your focus, make sure every single day you focus on the things that you want to attract in your life and develop the money attractor fields. And before you know it, you'll start to have much more money into your life. And come back to this video once you start to apply everything and once you start to condense all these money attractor fields, and let me know in the comments how much money you've attracted and how you've attracted it and what ways did it come.